Okay, high school really isn't that bad, I promise. But I made some pretty big mistakes that decreased the joy that I felt during high school. Thankfully, I'm here. I'm not in high school anymore. I'm in college, and I'm going to help you not to make the same mistakes I have. So, the first mistake I made was not recognizing how hard change would be for me. Change is hard. Can we agree on that? Something I never really noticed was that I would always get so much anxiety around the first week or two of school. It was something that I've never noticed until very recently, actually. Starting college this year was really an eye opener for me in terms of how I deal with the transition between summer and now college life. For reasons I couldn't describe or explain, it felt like my world was like ending because I didn't have as much time to myself. Some classes would give out homework in like the first week, which is just so messed up. But that would also take away from my me time. I went from being in my room all day, every day, to having my schedule defined for me. Some of my teachers were really weird and they would try to scare the class. They would be like, "Oof, this class is so hard. Most students drop out within the first day. I never give out 100%. If you fail, that's on you, not on me." Like, why are you bragging for failing your entire class? So, what was happening during these times? Why was I feeling so stressed out? One, it's the transition, and two, it was the schedule change. During the summer, I had less people telling me what I needed to do and more time to configure my own specialized schedule. There was plenty of time for me to go and relax if I ever got overstimulated. And since I was at home, I had all the necessary materials to calm myself down after a long day. When school starts, it feels like I'm being ripped away from that privilege. School brings in an unpredictability into my schedule. I don't have control over what my teachers are going to put into each lesson or what homework I'm going to receive. For autistic people, control is a huge factor in your mental health. We live in a very unpredictable society, so being able to control yourself and how you manage your day to day life can be extremely important in balancing that out. I think of life as a balance beam. On one side, you have society, the uncharted future, anything that's going to cause uncertainty in your life. And on the other side, you have things that you can control. When you think of a balance beam, both sides have to be equal, right? If you have more weight on one side, things might start to tumble. I think that's why I may cling to things that seem small to other people, such as my alone time, or why other autistic people might cling to certain foods or certain daily activities. School can cause an unbalance to your life by putting more onto the unpredictable side. It can cause you to feel unbalanced and get that world ending feeling that other people just don't seem to have. This year, I unfortunately found that out the hard way. I think something nice during high school would be a schedule because they give you a sense of control over your day to day life. For example, since I'm in college, I have a lot more work to do at home. And that caused me a lot of stress because I was now managing most of the work by myself rather than in a predictable classroom. Blocking out times in my schedule where I would have schoolwork and free time, because free time is very important, helped me feel like I wouldn't be working all the time, all day. It gave me the feeling that I could be able to do all of my work and still have the alone time that I needed to recharge. You deserve to have time for yourself. Don't let all of your time be taken away by your work, which is actually my second mistake, overbooking myself. Back in high school, from the time I got home to dinner, that was my me time. I was known to be a bit crabby after school. I was trying to recover from a long day. School would often be exhausting, especially with the amount of socialization that occurred during school. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I wouldn't allow myself to take breaks during school, like at all. Being the workaholic that I am, in sophomore year, I decided to try something new. I felt like I wasn't working hard enough, and the time that I spent from 3 to 6 was being wasted. I didn't understand how important that time would be to me. That year, I took the honors route for all of my core classes, and I joined 5 clubs. Most days I wouldn't be out of school until like 5. Suddenly I felt exhausted every day. It didn't matter how much sleep I got. I always woke up wanting to go back to bed. I also dissociated a lot, which is a problem that I still have today. But sophomore year is when it really started to become a problem. I didn't have much alone time at all. When I got home, I would have to work on my homework. I didn't have a schedule, so sometimes the work would build up and I would have to work hours after I should have gone to bed. I mean, I'm glad that I was encouraged to broaden my horizons, but on the other hand, I wish I didn't do so much all at once. It was too much, actually, too much work. Because at the end of sophomore year, I got burnt out. And then that would last a whole year until I was able to recover. So, what went wrong? Well, obviously, I was overworking myself. Sometimes my family would ask me why I would be stuck in my room all day. It was because I was feeling stressed and I just wanted to be away from socializing for a while. Your free time is very important. It's not you lazing around, and you're not being selfish for asking for more time off, time to spend off. If I could go back to sophomore year, I'd probably drop some of the clubs that I was in. Some of them I didn't even like very much, but since I joined them in the beginning of the year, I felt like I was obligated to keep going. I'd say, yeah, you should do it out of curiosity and interest rather than trying to beef up your resume. And that goes the same for honors classes too. Giving yourself a challenge is always very nice, but it should never come at the cost of your mental health. You are important and you are deserving of time to relax. Here's the thing though, sometimes even after I had hours to myself, I would still feel exhausted, which leads me to my third reason, which is using my free time improperly. I find it hard to enjoy my free time when I know that I have things to do afterwards. I feel like with autistic people, you have to do more in public situations like masking and figuring out social cues. It feels like I have to be on all the time. If you have family members that are unaccepting of your neurodivergence, this might make it even harder to find a safe spot. Oftentimes, I get stuck thinking about the next time I'll have to be on. It feels like I have to prepare for everything, like I have to gear up for battle just to go to the grocery store. Like I said in the other segment, I would spend most of my time going to clubs or studying and doing homework. Whenever I spent time trying to relax, I'd end up feeling unaccomplished and like I wasted a whole bunch of time doing nothing. And I guess in one perspective, that is kind of true. It felt too tiring to try and figure out what hobby I'm gonna do today. And then I would just find myself scrolling for hours at a time. I felt like if I tried to do any hobbies, I'd just end up even more tired or just frustrated if the hobby didn't go as planned. And for some reason, everyone else was able to enjoy what they love doing every day, while I was here trying to get cheap dopamine fixes off my phone. If and when you have free time, you should use it very intentionally. I know it feels easy to grab your phone and scroll on TikTok or YouTube or any social media platform. Those apps are usually just trying to keep you on the website. I know for me, sometimes I'll get stuck scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, trying to find something that actually amuses me, which just leads to an endless wave of disappointment. When you're intentionally pursuing a hobby, it makes you feel accomplished. Instead of watching someone else's talents, I'm seeing my own grow. I just finished this one embroidery hoop and it made me feel so happy because it was a project that I've been working on for actual months. I remember junior year, I would love to walk and I would walk around my neighborhood for like hours at a time, listening to music or just my own thoughts. If what I said about not being able to relax because of work resonates with you, you should definitely try and get some help. I did not do that. That's the fourth mistake. Not asking for help. This was due to a combination of me being prideful and also just not understanding what my teachers wanted from me. I wouldn't ask for any help unless I was in like desperate need. Going back to sophomore year, I felt like some of my honors classes weren't really meant for me. I didn't even like some of the subjects. I just wanted to seem like I was part of the honor society or whatnot. Some of those classes brought on so much stress, but I would just never say anything. I felt like I got myself into this mess, so I had to climb my way out of it. And maybe it's because of my face or my voice, but a lot of people can't tell when I'm feeling distressed. Plus, I'm not really a talkative person. So it's not like I was out here telling everyone how stressed out I was. I didn't want to feel like something was like wrong with me because I dropped out of one of my honors classes. I felt like I was supposed to be spending so much time and effort into my classes. The idea that I could work and still have a good life outside of work was very foreign to me. So I didn't ask for help because I felt like I was supposed to be feeling this way. Let's get this straight, okay? If you are feeling pressure, so much so that you're having major anxiety, depression, that is not healthy. Just think of how your life is going to be when you get that dream position. Are these work tendencies going to stop? Are you going to feel satisfied in what you've done? Whenever school started, in high school specifically, I would try to reassure myself by saying that one day my future self will thank me. Well, I mean, I'm in college now and I'm still dealing with all this stuff. So I really wish that I would have said something to people who seem to care about me. Just know that it's probably a really good idea to surround yourself with good family and good friends, which is my fifth mistake, staying in unhealthy friendships. They're not all bad, If you have to cherry pick traits that make your friend seem like a good person, that's probably not your friend. I would switch from friend group to friend group and mimic the personalities that I found intriguing. I would often gravitate towards big, loud, boisterous people because they had a voice, and that was something that I really wanted. But not all of these friendships were good ones. Since I'm a pretty quiet person, people would often take advantage of me. Like they would intrude on my space all the time or like talk about topics that I wasn't really comfortable hearing. And when I told them that, they would quiet down for a little bit, but then they would just go back to doing the same thing. Like, I'm just trying to hang out with you guys. Why do I have to be covering my ears? It felt like I just wanted to be a part of something, even if the people I was trying to be a part of were not helping me reach the goals that I desired. I also felt very scared to leave because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If someone's treating you badly, though, definitely distance yourself. This is one of the few things that I did manage to do before leaving high school. I would talk to the group less, maybe find some other place to sit, and like that was basically it because we'd never talked outside of school. Being alone really isn't that bad. I mean, sure, all of those group projects kind of suck, but I'd much rather be alone than have people that I have to like brace myself to be around. That's not a healthy relationship. You should have people who understand you and understand your boundaries and maintain those boundaries. No one gets to tell you how to act or how to feel. Ignoring my sensory sensitivities. The quiet is sort of a contrast to the loud and flashy environment that society often places us in. I would tell people this, and I would feel like I came off pretty well spoken, but I would still get discredited. I guess because people thought that I just had a preference to sound and didn't realize how strongly I felt on the matter. There weren't many places for me to go when I was overstimulated in school, so I'd kind of just start dissociating or daydreaming. Daydreaming was probably the thing that I did most, other than going on my phone for my free time. I was using it more as an escape than as a healthy coping mechanism. It made the world around me feel a bit more bleak, like I didn't want to participate in the world as much as I wanted to daydream. Because I was ignoring the problem, that overstimulation that I was feeling kept getting pushed down. I thought they would go, but apparently they didn't. Because I had many, many shutdowns during my high school experience. I think it's very important to figure out what sensory stimuli you are particularly susceptible to. You can also try to limit how much time you're exposed to the sensory stimuli during school if it's too much for you. In my school, we had this one club, a library club, that you could go to instead of lunch. And that really helped me a lot to feel like I had a place to go. Overall, I think getting to know yourself better is extremely important in helping out your high school experience. Hopefully, I haven't scared you into feeling like high school is this horrible, horrible place. I have a lot of good, happy memories in high school, despite what I've said. It was a nice change of pace from the often understimulating environment I had at home. If I missed anything, be sure to say it in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye now.